Good girl. That's a good girl. Protect the roost. Alrighty, y'all. Early, not so bright. Hope you guys are enjoying the everyday / every other day videos. This is like week 2 of taking an Uber. Let's head to work. Oh, that's weird. Back at the house again. Huh. A couple different dogs out here. Ain't that right, Rosie? Ain't that right? Willow. And we saw you this morning. Little man running around. Alright, so we did a work day. I was gonna vlog a heck of a lot more than what I did, but I've got some absolute tragic news about my truck. I have a 2001 F250 7.3, 142,000 miles on it, basically blown up. So, to put it into easy context, the exhaust valve is pretty much blown off on the A cylinder, has 0 compression, first cylinder's on its way out. So for a rebuild, I'm probably looking $3 grand when I can just put a motor in it for $3 grand. So it's kind of about where we're going. But labor's gonna kick me because I sure can't drop a 7.3 in a truck. So not fun, man. Not good news at all. But hey, you know, we're living, we're breathing, we're walking. So well, I'm gonna go down to the boat. Trevor and I are fishing a tournament tomorrow. So I'm gonna go down to the boat, get some preventive maintenance done on it. And I believe I got some water in the fuel, so I'm gonna dump the filter out, see what we have in that, compare our ratios. I'd go out and buy another filter, but we're just gonna have to run with that for tomorrow. We're not making any long runs, probably 10 minutes behind the wheel tomorrow. Might run a total of 15 miles, if that. Fuel filter for the day will be all right. Yeah, run over there, feed these dogs, clean these dogs up real quick, let them run around outside. We're gonna go down there and get that done. It's a beautiful day out, man. Great day to be living. Let's go, girls. Yeah, someone left me a Bud Light. Sweet. So we're gonna let the dogs run around Trevor's house for a little bit. That's where we're at now, is Trevor's. We had a huge storm blow through, and I've got a lot more trees on my property. Actually, Trevor's are all cut in the back. Offers a lot more protection here, so I threw the tarp on it for water and the motor. Yeah, let's get going on that fun stuff. Man, so we low budget around here. This is my Talon cover. It's actually for a pitching machine, the tripod that the pitching machine sits in. That's what I put over my Talon, and it literally fits the Talon perfect. So my motor cover might as well be a garbage bag, but we budget around here and it works. Alright, so this is a 2001 Mercury EFI 200 horsepower, and what we have going on is Gambler has this awful design where the gas cap cover here is right on the transom. So when I come off plane, the water will come all the way up here coming off plane, which kind of sucks because you get a lot of water in the vent, a lot of water off of these seals right here. Now, I made the awful mistake of leaving this gas cap open, or not clicking it, like so, last time I was out. And I noticed it when I got home, and fuel filter obviously did his job, and there must not be that much water because I do have the water sensor on this filter, but it never beeped at me. And this has happened to me before. I stand here a humbled man. This has happened to me before, and I thought I wasn't getting oil. My oil pump went out or something, but I was getting oil. I was getting water in my fuel, which is 3 slow beeps on this Mercury, or 4 slow beeps. I can't remember what it is. So if you do know, comment below. Anyways, we're gonna take this filter off and then empty it, check out our water to fuel ratio, and that will dictate how much water I think I have in the fuel, because fuel is more dense. Dense equals float buoyancy. Whatever. One of the two is more dense, and water sinks, fuel floats. So any of the water is going to be at the bottom. So I'm just going to run the bulb, primer bulb, and try to pump enough water and fuel through the line till I don't see any water in my filter. So that's what we're going to get started with here. Alright, so after an exhausting process of untightening something that was put on tight, I've emptied out, removed the water sensor on the bottom, emptied out the filter, and it appears we don't have any water in the fuel. Dumped it into a bad bucket I have, and you look for obviously a significant difference in water and fuel. They don't exactly meet together. It's like orange juice and toothpaste. And I'm not seeing any signs. I'm gonna screw this thing back on, prime it, probably 20-25 pushes of the primer bulb, fill that filter back up, see if we get any water in it again. I'll probably do this 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times, however time it seems necessary for me to put it on and take it back off to make sure it's clean. Now this is something stupid easy I think everybody should do instead of siphoning out all your fuel. Like I said before, water will sink, and your fuel filter for the most part is gonna filter out water. I've literally had that filter down 90% water, 10% fuel before. Couldn't figure out why my engine was beeping at me, couldn't figure out why I was overheating. Well, it wasn't getting the fuel needed. So, first thing to do, make sure you jack up your trailer as high as you can get it to an appropriate height, so that your boat is leaning back for the most part. You want all that water to kind of drain. At least in my gas tank, the bulb is in the bottom left. So for me, I'd want to lean my boat high and get that left corner down as low as I can get, if that makes sense. So the right side of my boat up higher, so all the fuel and water moves towards the bulb pull in the fuel tank. And I'm just gonna prime the primer bulb right here. And I'm gonna fill up my fuel filter once again. And I can hear the fuel getting to it. Now again, I only put this thing on finger tight for removal purposes because I'm gonna be going back and forth. So number one, you wanna go super slow to allow all the air to come out. This thing's gonna be under a ton of pressure, and your engine for the most part is what's gonna move that air and combust and spark, and that's what starts the engine. Well, we're skipping that step because we're manually removing the filter each time. In fact, it's only about a quarter filled. So I'm gonna show you what I've been doing. I got my filter out. Now be kind to the environment when you're doing this crap, man. So I'm gonna slowly pour this into my bad bucket here. So this is my fuel fluid / oil bucket. I try to put material that dries up any fuel when I'm done. I go out into the sunlight here, and I can see that fuel is pretty much fuel. There's no water in there. I don't see anything out of the ordinary. Fuel is fuel. Looks like it's gonna fire. And again, now I'm gonna do this probably 3, 4, 5, 6 times, however many times I seem necessary to keep going. Or I can do it 2, 3 times. I see that, okay, I'm not getting water in my fuel, so I must have got lucky and not got a lot of water in the tank. And I wait till I'm out on the lake and I hear the beeps. First thing I'm gonna check is my fuel filter. If I see water in it, pretty good indication to get the boat back to the ramp, either at idle speed or whatever you seem necessary. Pull that filter off again and start siphoning out that fuel because you got water in your fuel tank. So it's a very long, lengthy process, but if within the first 3 or 4 fuel filters of fuel you're not seeing water, you can pretty much deem it safe. So just one of those preventive maintenance things on the water, because you do not want water going up into these bad boys. They are not meant to dissect and run off water. They like their fuel. So again, I'm gonna do it probably one more time, look at the filter and just make sure everything seems and looks okay. Alright, so we're back from that mess. Got it all done. Don't smell like fuel anymore. Even got all 3 big girls nice and washed up. Ain't that right? You nice and clean? You nice and clean? So my girlfriend and I are gonna head out with our White Shepherd into town, hang out, get some drinks and some food and whatnot in town. But first I just want to show you, made a quick Academy run. They had a ton of stuff on sale. Look at that, $1.48 for this Slush Daddy. It's basically a topwater prop bait, baby bass color. Got some Ned rig heads, weedless heads with these Elastec bang sticks, but I'm just going to cut them in half. They're made of the same stuff that their TRD, all their Ned rig baits are made out of. But this was the only black and blue type color they had. We're fishing dark water tomorrow, so I definitely wanted that color. Black and blue Rage Tail Menaces. Shout out to Eric Tilson. We're going to be flipping these around tomorrow too. Hopefully find some matted fish. Tucked up shallow, and he is pretty much the king of that bait. Old Faithful 15-pound Invisex, go for worming. A deep Pro Latch stowaway box, 3600. I'm going to start stowing my hooks a little bit different this year. So I'm going to start just trying out with a 3600. If I have to go bigger, I will. But this is a lot easier for me to take around to co-angler events and whatnot, so I thought about it and figured I'd try it with that one. And then some Startron Marine Enzyme Fuel Treatment. Definitely not a bad product to check out if you haven't. It's just good for eliminating, preventing, cleaning your internals, and obviously additive for your fuel, being that I'm worried with some water in my fuel. Obviously we don't have anything crazy, but nonetheless, just to use any fuel additive is always smart. And if you're using it in your car, truck, boat, lawnmower, zero turn, whatever it is, it's always a good idea to put some fuel additive the way that fuel is today. So we're gonna head off into town. Successful afternoon. We're gonna go get some food, come back, and I have a ton of organization to go. Ton of tackle prep. Really have had zip for time to do it this week, so we're definitely taking advantage of this evening to get all that prepared, get it knocked out, meet up with Trevor later, and finish up in preparation for this tournament.